Come on, get your praise on. Come on, get your praise on with the Frederick Allen Show. With the Frederick Allen Show.
And it's going to be Sinic Marsh, who is the president of Anson County Branch NAACP.
Yes, I am. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Tell the folk who you are.
Well, my name is Sinic Marsh. I was born and raised in Marshfield, North Carolina, which is a small town approximately 30 miles east of Charlotte, North Carolina. And we operate a business called Quality Florist in Wadesboro, North Carolina, with my wife and my mother-in-law. And we just serve the community, and we just do what God has purposed for our lives. And that's where we are at this point.
Okay, now that is your professional background. Now, what do you do in the community? Who are you?
Well, in the community, I'm president of the NAACP of Anson County, and I'm proud to serve that community in that capacity. And we have some exciting things going on, have some wonderful people, met some difficult challenges, got new adventures going on, and we're just excited about what we're doing in this community. Yes.
Okay, so what caused you to get involved with the NAACP?
Well, January of this year, I'm a florist by profession. And I received a phone call in February. Mostly I'm an intern president because the chapter was reorganizing. And I received a phone call, and that phone call was very troubling. So it was something that I wasn't prepared for, and I had a lot of reservations about taking on this phone call. But after receiving a yes, I mean, I'm very into my father, and I've always consulted him about everything. And when I had my doubts, he said yes. And when I said yes, you know, if you go back to Revelations, and then you go back and you look at what was actually happening during that period, it was like a door was open, and then he said, "Come up hither," because where I was and where he wanted to take me, I had to step to another level. And when I said yes, he put me in a different level. And immediately after that, I received a prophecy from my uncle, which was Bishop Neil Ellis. Maybe some of y'all are familiar with him. And he told me, this was after I said yes, it was 2 nights afterwards. He said, "You're going to see things you've never seen before. You're going to do things you've never done before. And you're going to say things you have never said before." Okay, this was in February. In April of that year, I met the Vice President of the United States, who is going to be our current president for this term, that I believe. And
all right, speak prophecy.
Yes, everything that he said, the prophetic message that he gave me was true. And I've been running on that prophecy my whole term. And I don't think for myself. I listen to what my father tells me, go left, right, and this is where we are at this point. And we have did our first Juneteenth countywide. Now we're in a Freedom Fund, which we're excited about that. And we are going, we secured a bus going to the White House, and we are really doing some exciting things in the county.
Okay. Give a little history about the NAACP, simply because I thought it was taboo that the older folk don't know what it stands for, don't know much about it. I expect that for the millennials, but I've been talking to a lot of people within Anson County, and they know very little about it.
Okay, the NAACP was formed from an anti-lynching campaign. From 1877 to 1950, there has been over 4,081 lynchings. In 1908, the Springfield, Illinois massacre, there was over 60 to 100 people there were 2 people that was lynched, and then there was hundreds of people that was just brutally beating. So 60 abolitionists went to New York. In 1905, W.E.B. Du Bois had the Niagara Movement. The Niagara Movement was filtering information from the South with Ida B. Wells. Every time there was a lynching, they would hang a flag out. So the 60 abolitionists went to W.E.B. Du Bois in 1908 to form the NAACP in 1909. And that's how we first got established. Now, there's been laws introduced as early back in 1900. The first law was introduced by George Henry White. He was a representative of North Carolina. That bill, the anti-lynching bill, failed out of committee. Okay, so back in 1918, there was another bill introduced by Leonidas Dreyer. He was a Republican. He introduced the anti-lynching bill in Congress, but it later failed. And it sat over 122 years until George Floyd was killed, and then we had the Emmett Till anti-lynching bill. So actually, the organization was founded from an atrocity that was happening in the United States dating back to 1877.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Okay, we're back. My next question for you, I want to dig a little deeper. So, with the Anson County branch of NAACP becoming active again, what changes do you think it's going to bring to the community?
It's going to bring a lot of changes because what the NAACP in Anson County is doing is cultivating a new era. It's bringing in different mindsets, different opinions. It's bringing in a younger generation that can carry the organization forward. Because a lot of times we get stagnated as senior citizens in our way of thinking. So what we are doing is that we are opening the doors to a broader, more up-to-date perspective, because we got some challenges ahead of us. We got challenges as far as with the AI. We got challenges as far as with blockchain technology. We got challenges as far as the financial system is going to be totally revamped. So therefore, we need new people on board to meet these challenges. So therefore, we can move our people forward in this new generation, in this new era that's going to be, it's going to be before us. New challenges, we welcome that, but we need to have people with the right mindset in order to deal with these challenges.
Okay, I did take some questions online, and one of the questions is, the NAACP was birthed in the church. How will you reconnect with the various churches to enhance the growth and strength of the organization?
Well, actually, we were meeting in a nonprofit organization. So we moved the NAACP, our organization, back to a church that was a life member. So therefore, by putting the organization back into a church, a sanctuary, a place of worship, we're going back to the beginnings, which it was founded. We can look at other organizations and see how they're are handling this situation, but in our situation, we need to identify ourselves with our roots. And our roots is in worship. Our roots is based upon our relationship with our Father. I mean, we have been stripped of our identity. We have been given a name. We've been given a culture that we didn't even know we. So the only thing we know that is constant is our Father.
Amen.
And the place of worship is that place of sanctuary, a place that we can identify, a place that we feel safe, feel connected. So therefore, we put in the organization back to where people could feel connected, could feel inclusive, could feel, revived.
Okay, that's true. Amen to all of that. Now, with the climate that's going on in Anson County right now with the government, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, we have to be informed of the issues. First of all, we have to educate ourselves with what's before us, and not just, we have to do our due diligence and do research. The government right now in Anson County, right now we are, it's up in the air. Because one thing I noticed about Anson County is that we are 47% black population. We're the predominant race in Anson County, but we do not use that we don't use that voice in a way to make a change in the county. We sometimes compromise on businesses. Sometimes we support businesses that don't have our best interests. I mean, we're a black business in Anson County. And a lot of times, we have people that, yes, I want to support you, but my family goes over here, which is okay. You have that right. But black-owned businesses, we need to support that so they can pull income back and support ourselves. And that way we have a certain, how the words that I'm searching for, we have a financial baseline to go upon, because we actually circulating money within the community. But if we circulate it outside the community, therefore the community perishes, because, we take care of our own. No other community does this except we do. So therefore, I strongly believe that we need to support black businesses and to support each and every one of us, so we can prosper and so we can benefit.
Okay, I agree with you, but how do we do that? I'm like you. I know what we should be doing, but how do we do that?
We do it by education. We do it by trust. We do it by just acknowledging the fact, listen, okay, for instance, there are several businesses, alternate businesses. There's some business that we're not into. Yes, we understand that. But the businesses that are existing, that are viable, that are thriving, give them an opportunity. Let's just say that there's, I'm going to use this as an example. Let's just say the funeral home business. There's like 3, 4, 5 businesses in Anson County. And a lot of times when a family member passes away, they want to choose a different funeral home, for instance. But there's alternate funeral homes that are more qualified. But we have to learn to yield that to, our own, so we can benefit our people, because we perish because of lack of knowledge. I think that if we understand that, if you look at the Jewish community, they support themselves. If you look at the Hispanic community, they support themselves. If you look at the European community, they support themselves. But when you come to the black community, we scatter. We split ourselves. We divide our resources, and then therefore a house divided cannot stand. How can it stand? And if we recycle the resources and support our community, then we can go in strength. But we're scattered, and we're fighting each other for what? I don't even understand it. I know I'm going to get in trouble, but that's
No, you're not.